Hello, hello, beautiful people. How are we doing? I don't know what the no is, but hello. Welcome to Global Hack Week. Um, Today we are going over maxing out your hack with Google Cloud, and today is going to be part one of a 4-part session. If you don't know me yet, hi, my name is Isabel. You can call me Isa. I am a coach here at Major League Hacking. I use she, her pronouns, and a fun fact about me is I've seen a lot of anime. I see a lot of people saying hi in the chat. Hello, hello, welcome. Thank you for coming. Here is what we will be going over for the 4-part session. This is a general guideline. So if we finish a little early, we might get into the next one. If we finish a little late, we'll save it for the next session. But the 4 things that I want to go over for our track is going to be cloud basics, which will be setting up your Google Cloud Console and planning the rest of our project. We'll go over infrastructure, which would include compute engine and maybe a combination of Cloud SQL and storage. We'll also be going over artificial intelligence. I want to integrate either one of the APIs that is built in with Google Cloud or Vertex AI, depending on how the interest is with this crowd. I would be asking y'all what kind of project you want to make. So if you want to start brainstorming already, feel free. And finally, the last thing I want to cover for our 4-part track is going to be deployment, so that whatever you make this week, you can deploy, you can show off, you can put in your portfolio and be something that you can use to boost your internship application or job application, whatever have you. But yeah, so just getting into it, the first thing we're going to do is create an account. Let's do that and do that. There we go. That should be clearer for y'all. So the first thing we're going to do is go to cloud.google.com and we're going to create an account. If you have an account already, you can just go straight to console. Otherwise, there is a banner right above that says get $300 in free credits and free usage of 20 plus products. I'm going to make sure that what we do use is within those 20 plus products that are free with their tier so that you can follow along. If you get stuck, if you have any questions, if you need debugging, I am very much keeping an eye on the chat in case you get stuck. I will also do this. Put it on incognito so that you low. I'm trying to hide the bookmarks. Oh, but I wanted to show you what this flow looks like. So cloud.google.com. If I don't have an account, this is what I'm going to see. And I'll go to the get $300 in free credits. Thank you, Sing. I appreciate that. So the link that I mentioned is cloud.google.com. You can go to get started for free. And then you log in with your account. I'm going to put mine in. And hide this so the autocomplete doesn't mess me up. Gosh. And that should be not available. So if you are like me and you already have an account, you'll see that the free trial is not available anymore. I have already asked Mary and the rest of the team if I could ask for cloud credits for y'all, but it looks like for Global Hack Week, Google isn't giving away credits. But again, we're making sure that anything that you do won't need any billing, like they're all free. But if you want to set up that free tier, or if you don't have it, so the instructions, if you go through the free tier, should be straightforward enough. So I can't show it because I already have my billing, but I'll show you what it looks like if you set it up, like if you already have your account and you are trying to set it up. So what I did was I went to the left hand side and clicked on billing, and you will either have that, or I'm going to click on manage billing accounts. And if you go to a MLH hackathon, like a Web3, not Web3 apps, Hack Nights, maybe Hack Nights would probably have um, credits for their hackers. If you have the code, it would go in here. You'd have another billing account that would say you have $25 to spend on your project. And then in our case, so we are going to our projects. So I'm going to go back to my main page. It should be right next to the icon, right next to the logo of Google Cloud. You'll have your drop down of all the projects that you've ever made. I believe this will also include the ones that you got that were shared with you. So if you're working with someone else, and they started the project and it was shared with you, it will also go here. So let's say try one has been the one that I've been using for everything. So, and then, yeah, that should be it for creating an account. Does anyone have any questions about the setting up of your account? Has everyone successfully created their Google Cloud page, or I mean console? I'm gonna go back to our slides here. Okay, I see a yup for setting up your account. Um, I already went through 2A, which is setting up the billing. I click that there. And we're going to next go into, let's see. Shem is adding that if you have a college email, you should be able to set up an account with the $200 or $300 credit. Yes. So the 300 that everyone gets as a new account is for anyone, even if you don't use your school email. But if you use your school email, I think you get extra. Awesome. So now we'll go into creating our project. I wanted to make it a little open-ended so that, oh, to those who did not, I probably put it in the announcement, but if you didn't know where the slides are, it's in the link tree. And what I wanted to also do was, oh, someone's asking, can I use an old account or should I register a new one for the credits? If you need the credits, like if you um want the $300, you'd have to create a new account because your old one won't be able to access the 300 freebie that is on the main page. Um, yeah, you could make a new account. Otherwise, we're also doing it so that you won't have to pay for anything. This is just in case you want to add your own spin to it. If you want to use any of the other products that I'm not demoing, then you can use it with the same account. Let's see. Yes. So now I would love to hear from the audience in the chat for what kind of project I will be demoing. So like you can make your own with the same products that I'll be using, but for the sake of what I'll be demoing, do we want a healthcare project? Do we want something about the environment? Do we want to use, okay, another page that I want us to go to would be going back to the Google Cloud page. We have here products. So if we go to products and see all, so we have over 100 products available to use, but the ones that are featured are the ones that are going to be most likely free for the scale that we're like assuming it to be. Usually what happens is, let's say we use compute engine, which is we're using Google Cloud processing power for the purposes of this hack, of like just a hackathon project, it'll be enough. But let's say you want to scale it up, let's say you want to add more functionality, it's a heavier API call, something like that, then it would go into like a fraction of a cent per gigabyte is how they usually do their pricing. So if we go down, so this is just for compute engine, which is once again the borrowing of the processing power. So if we want to create virtual machines, if we're processing, let's say, well, there's a specific um, product for AI, but if you want to train AI models, those are usually computing heavy. You don't want your own computer to do all the work for you. Let's say you have a laptop or a not so strong desktop PC, you can use Compute Engine to do the processing on the cloud, on like Google Cloud's fleet. And then, yeah, you won't have to be limited by what your computer can do. So that's Compute Engine. Let's go to the pricing to talk about what I mentioned was what would happen if, where's pricing? There's pricing. So new customers get $300 to spend on. General purpose machine, which is a micro instance, it's per month for free and it won't be charged against your credits. So if we continue with using this for our project, we know that everyone will have access to it. Um, Casey is suggesting sports. Do we have any other suggestions? For Tintin is asking session plan. Okay, so the session plan is in the slides. This part, our 4-part session. It's a track, so there's 4 parts. Each part will have these as our main, I guess, plan for what we're gonna build. And then if you're going to watch the replay, I hope you come back for the rest of the sessions. But thank you for dropping by. Rachel is suggesting the environment. That's cool. The check-in link is where the announcement was, like on Discord. The check-in link is right here. But I'll paste that for everyone else that hasn't checked in yet. And then I'll hide this. So if you haven't checked in yet, that's there. And then Casey, the sessions are usually 2 hours. I don't think I'll need the whole 2 hours because I'm probably gonna stop before we do the actual integrations. So what I planned to do today was make sure everyone was on the same, like starting off at the same pace and making sure that we know what we're gonna build for the rest of the 3 sessions. So probably not gonna take the whole 2 hours. And then Marie Shem is asking if we can integrate the Google Maps API. That's pretty cool. And I know that if we go to products and see all products, we shall see that the maps are right there. Maps and geospatial, I scrolled all the way down, and we have Earth Engine or Google Maps platform. So going into Google Maps, we can see here that it's very user friendly. It has all of our, they have examples of how you can use the Maps platform. And then they have use cases. So let's start. So with the sports suggestion, I can already see that we can do something like ticketing or um, something along those lines for sports. And then for the environment, we could do something like tourist spots or like ecological areas that we can map out. But either way, I like the idea of adding a map to our functionality. So I'm going to, one second, I'm going to start editing the presentation. So this is going to be the slides for all 4 sections. It's not fully done yet. The last page is that MLH logo, but I'm going to, anything that we do or anything that we've decided, I'll add here. So project plan. And then for sure, I got you. So any other suggestions? Would love to hear them. In the meantime, so we're using Google Maps API. So far for the topic, I'm already leaning towards environment over sports just because I don't know enough about sports to be able to like create a project without asking too many questions. So unless anyone else has very bright ideas, I'm gonna stick with environment and keep brainstorming from there. So we have Google Maps API. Are there any other products that we'd like to use? We have so if we want to add a backend to our project, the first things that come to mind would be either SQL or where's storage? Storage is a different section. Okay. The databases. So the databases would be basic like SQL stuff, and then storage would be more along the lines of images, videos, objects that we store. And then it would work with the database, usually, if we have storage. So we're doing yes to, is there a specific um, preference to which database we want to use? Because there's Firestore, which most people might be familiar with, because Firebase is usually what we use at hackathons. But Cloud SQL is the kind of generic SQL version that you can use for any project, even if it's not for a hackathon. So, like, scalable. Also, Firestore is NoSQL, which is the documents and collections way of managing data, whereas Cloud SQL will be the table type where there's columns and rows and stuff. So let me know which ones of. Okay, someone is saying they're a fan of the SQL database. Does anyone want to agree or disagree with that? Firestore is Firebase, yes. So Firestore is the NoSQL that comes with Firebase. And this kind of, I guess, proves the point that some people argue within Major League Hacking of whether Firebase counts as cloud or Google Cloud or not. Okay, so we've got 2 fans of SQL and 1 maybe at the Firestore. So far, it looks like we're leaning Cloud SQL. I'll add that to the list. MySQL is the one that I know how to use, but of course, MySQL, Postgres, and SQL Server are all options for Cloud SQL. Okay, let's go back to my slides and add Cloud SQL. And then deploy. The way that I know how to deploy my projects is with Firebase. If we're using Cloud SQL, that means we'll probably most likely need something closer to, let's see. In the meantime, I'm still keeping an eye out for other suggestions for either products we can use, topics we can use around these products, or let's see, business containers? Not exactly. If anyone has any questions about what containers and the other terminology of cloud is, I came in with the assumption that people know a little bit about cloud already, but if that's not the case, I am very open to explaining while I look through these, and I can explain all the products as well. Let's see. Do we want to do anything data related? Most of the okay. No clue about cloud. I will dial back my jargon, noted. And then for the data analytics, so I am on data analytics right now. I think more likely what these would be used for is for big data, like large data sets that are stored in Google Cloud, and then you're manipulating that large data set with their tools. So there's a lot of data management here. We've got specific tools, like I know Apache works with Kubernetes. So if you're already using Kubernetes, this would go well with it. We've also got Let's see. Ooh, show a dashboard for a particular region, like a heat map of average temperatures. Wow, nice. Definitely got our work cut out for us. What is this Oh, so Google Marketing doesn't count as Google Cloud. Noted. So far, this is our um strongest idea. If anyone else has, because this goes Immortal's suggestion works well with Marie's suggestion of using a map. So though, okay, I think we could use something like a React template or a Next template for the dashboard specifically, so that we don't, because I was worried about making each like dashboard module. Are we going to build a UI? I would like to build a UI. I am a very front end heavy developer, so even if it's not going to be super pretty, it's gonna be some semblance of a user interface for sure. And I do like Tailwind and Framer and all of those different tools. So, but this is a Google Cloud specific track, so UI would be on the back burner. We'll make sure that our project works, and then we'll make it pretty. But it will have a UI because we need to like connect all of our pieces together. At the very least, it's going to have buttons and stuff so that we can view our database, so that we can view our map, so that we can manipulate our data, etc., etc. So we've got machine learning stuff. Another way that I've seen Google Cloud Google Cloud Data Analytics was used. Is if you have something that gives a constant stream of data, let's say an API, let's say a sensor, and it's constantly giving data like every few seconds, every certain ping, and then you'd use these data analytics tools to analyze the data as it's coming in. That would be another use case for data analytics. But I think for a small project of like, let's say we're making the data ourselves, it wouldn't, like, we wouldn't be able to show how well it can work, if that makes sense. So for the data analytics one, I would say it's based on what data we're using it on. Because we're already saying we have our database, which is Cloud SQL. Real-time heat map. Okay, that is a specific use case that I will see if vegetation health. That's interesting. That would mean we'd have maybe like a Kaggle data set or something that we'd work with. What? Tell me more about what that looks like, if that's what you're suggesting, Shem. And then for the real-time heat map, since we are sticking with Google Cloud, I want to see if Google can do that part for us. So let's see. These are the use cases specifically, but okay. So we have options for like getting to places. We have options for recognizing, because maps would be these are the streets, these are the locations. Routes would be this is how you get to those places. Places would be this is a shop, this is a grocery store, this is a here are coordinates. Those specific use cases would go under places. And then I think relating back to Immortal suggestion, this environment one, which is actually a fairly new addition to the Maps platform, the air quality, pollen, and solar might be cool. So out of the three of them, solar sounds. So this does look like a heat map, and they even heat map the houses themselves. Oh wait, no, these are just for solar panels. Mm, it's okay. We'll leave the tab open for now. What do you guys think? It was a Streamlit app using Google Earth and satellite images. Cool. Streamlit is another one, and we can use that since it's an MLH sponsor too. Let's see. Go to get started. So there's the page that explains what the product is to everyone, and then when you go to get started, that's the dev side now. So you'll see what would explain, let's say, fine. Oh, okay. So we'll be cautious of what we're using because since it asked me for that, not everything they offer will be free. So we're not doing that. We are not doing that. We are not doing that. I'm going to save it for now. I'm not I guess that's another reason why I can't start integrating this session. I'm waiting for Mary to give cloud credits. And if we're going to use one of these, definitely asking Mary for that. But at the very least, I think I can show you what to expect from it. So let's go to this is not where I was gonna go, but this is something we still need. So I'm gonna look through dev tools, enterprise. If it's enterprise, we might not. I'm saving that for now. Just leaving that there. So the way that going back to a previous question, the cloud, if you just know it as the cloud and not much else, is what's basically happening is there are data centers in some part of the world that people don't live, where there are machines, computers, etc., that do all of these, like that perform all of these services and products, etc., like the data hold hosting servers, like hosting websites, like processing, computing, etc. You are borrowing one of the machines that are in those data centers and using that processing power or that container or that server, etc., from that data center and using it for your project. Usually the reason why you would want to do that is if your local equipment, like let's say your desktop or your laptop, cannot handle what your project needs. So if it requires too much processing power, if it requires too much space, you don't want to use your local computer for that. So you use the cloud. Cool. So here are some of the things that we can do with that. We already went through. No one has mentioned anything about the AI stuff. Is that something we still want to do? We've got vision, we've got translation, we've got video, text to speech to text, recommendations. We even got a chat bot called Dialogflow. If you want to build from scratch, it looks like we're focusing a little bit more on fees, so it might not make so much sense to use Vertex AI, but Vertex AI lets you build machine learning models and train those machine learning models on the cloud, and you can manage them without having to do any of them locally. Okay, so we've got someone for speech to text. So talking into the, okay, if we're already good. Oh, I'll add that to our list. Environment was where we're going using Google Cloud, Cloud SQL, and Maps API. What else? Because I said we're maxing out Google Cloud, so I want to use even more products. Like my vision for this was you could win best use of Google Cloud with these kinds of projects. So, what other tools does Google Cloud offer that we can take advantage of? What else? How do we integrate maps and SQL, for example? And we said speech to text. I can already see that maybe I'd want the user to talk about what they're saying, and then it'll be speech to text, and then it'll go straight to the Cloud SQL. Whatever they verbally said would be typed up and then go into Cloud SQL. But what are they talking about? Is it, if you want to gear it towards travelers, it could be like a travel blog, and then you could make you could map out where that traveler went. You could, yeah. Okay. That's one example. What do you guys think? There's also the dashboard heat map thing. But how do we integrate a dashboard with these three? I don't think, because dashboards are very software as a service. It the user experience is very different. So let's see. What other products can we do? There's also Google Workspace. Yeah, see, Google Workspace. Like the Google Clouds, Google Sheets, Docs, Slides, etc. You can also use those. Let's see. Any security stuff? Is anyone interested in that? Firewalls, key management. Ooh. No, do we want that? If we're doing a lot of functionality, maybe we don't want our server-side rendered website. It's smaller than Compute Engine, but yeah, and it would work. I'd want to use App Engine for something like a Firebase project. There's not a speech to text feature on Google Maps. Ooh. And then you could go to Google and say, I did this. You didn't do it yet. You should hire me to do it. Um, okay. Oh, you guys know geocaching? Like, you could try something like a geocaching activity. Caching, I think is the word for it. Not what I was trying to say. Where like you go to predetermined places, kind of like Pogo. Nah. Oh, someone said it was fun, so I guess it was a better idea than I thought. Let's see. If we wanna, so it could be like there are different users, and you have the option to provide an like you either give someone an adventure, like give them a location to go to, or they go to a location that someone else has said was an adventure. So like you're going all over the world, that would require a maps the map API, and then if you're hiking, traveling, etc., you wouldn't be able to type that well, which would explain the speech to text functionality, because you'd want to talk while you're hiking and saying, "Oh, I want to go here" or something. I don't know. Let's see. So that explains maps and speech to text, and then the different adventures, the different routes, locations, etc., could go in Cloud SQL, and that's where we save it, and then that's where we'll edit the database when, let's say, how many people have gone on this adventure, how many people tried versus succeeded. um it's like Pokemon Go, exactly. I'm one of the few people that still play it, so I guess I was a little inspired. Okay, it's looking good so far. Environment, geocaching, adventure app. Kind of like that. What do you guys think? What are our thoughts on? So users can we could say that if you're you who provided the adventure, like let's say um you said go to Brooklyn Bridge, and then you'd be able to see other people that went to Brooklyn Bridge who, let's say, made a travel note using their speech to text, who took pictures and uploaded them. Ooh, this is actually coming along. Okay, users can share their travel stories journey, um travel log using speech to text or images, videos. Okay, okay. If we do images to videos, we can also include cloud storage. Okay, okay. It's coming along, friends. So users can share their travel journey. What else can our users do, friends? And I see we are sharing projects. That is very cool. Let's see. We can provide adventures. We can share their travel journey. Users. I think another way that we can manipulate. Oh, users can see a map of all adventures that they took. That oh, ooh, place recommendations using AI. Let's break that down. So, place recommendations would require the Google Maps platform, which would require current place, no, geocoding, nearby search, place details. One of these. It would require one of these so that you can find the locate to get the location itself. But then we'd have to make something separate. Let's say we have a recommendation app. Okay, okay, okay. We have recommendations AI right here, which I think we can use to recommend other locations for them to go. But then that would also take away from the user experience of like people are putting in these adventures. Like other people who have gone to these adventures are suggesting them. So it would take away from the community aspect if we make AI do the recommendations. Nearby highly rated spots, restaurants, or maybe hidden gems. I like that. So that would also be under places, but it would be maybe nearby search or place details. Because look, near play, and then you can refine by place type. Like you can say restaurants, gas stations, cafes, whatever. Um, let's see. Because so the reason why I would go against the AI recommendation one is because what if they want to suggest a hike route as as an adventure? It would be like not a singular pin, it would be like a route, a place, like a long trek. Um which goes in either directions or directions matrix. I have so much research to do for this big project. Wow. Okay. We have the map of all our adventures, we have the travel journey, we have routes and locations, etc. Okay. How does this sound to people already? This, like what I've described here. If I'm missing anything, let me know. But how does this sound already for what we're going to do for the rest of the 3 sessions? So probably 1, 2, 3 sessions worth. Prompt engineering. Okay. So we wouldn't use, oh, wait. Like we have Cohere. Oh, Cohere is not a sponsor anymore. Who would we use if we do the prompt engineering AI suggestion? If we're not, because the recommendations AI. This is the alternative. But if we use something that isn't Google, what would we use instead? Because I know OpenAI's credits are pretty like hard to come by. Cloudflare aren't they the server place? Do they also do recommendations? Cloudflare recommendation. No. Well. Ah. Cloudflare came this. Oh. In that case, because I know Cloudflare has products, but they're not like they're cloud and security. See? So their products are very similar to Google Cloud. They're a competitor. But the way that, let's see, the way that they split up their products is like they're very enterprise. So very big customers. I'm surprised that Cloudflare would be like, these are the kind of products that they have. So a lot of security. That's what I know Cloudflare for. What else do they have? Yeah. Plus they have tiers. You don't got that? Okay. Cloudflare might not be our best choice for AI specifically. AI workers earlier today. Okay. Let's do Cloudflare AI. Let's check that out. There we go. Ah, it's another one of those. They deployed their model so you can call it like a function instead of like building the model yourself. So that's what they're doing. We've got text generation, text embedding, classification. We'd need something that's specifically within our use case. Because, for example, we're recommending what was it yours said? Highly rated spots, restaurants, hidden gems, etc. If we're doing locations as what we're recommending, what's this? You'd have to see the catalog has all of the options. The way that the recommendations AI from Google would work is we give it all the possible recommendations and then they choose which recommendation to give based on all of the ones that we've given. Because it says sync catalog here. However, if we want it, like if we don't know which locations to suggest, it won't know to suggest those places. I think for something like hidden gems, it's something that AI wouldn't be able to find. Like, how does AI programmatically discover a gem that is hidden? You know? But if we sync it from the database, that would still require the work of knowing which to recommend. Like we if we sync it from the database, we'd have to fill the database first, which would either be dummy data or data we made, which would be work. Unless this is another workaround, if we use something like nearby search to to like make an API call that has all the recommendations that we have. But then it would only work. Okay, we can do that. We can do that. Because, like, see, if I'm working for my, you can, whatever we do build for the rest of the 3 sessions would be local to our cities. So I'm from New York City. I'd make a nearby search of restaurants, gems, etc. in New York City, and then those would be my recommendation. That's what I would feed to my recommendation algorithm right here. Maybe it's possible. But do you see the connections that I'm making? Like, the suggestion is fair, but if we break it down into what that suggestion asks for, it's a little more complicated than that. So if we sync it from the database, we'd still have to or to create the data that's in the database to begin with. Nearby search is a good one, and it is getting hefty. Something we can do, but I'm also thinking that since this is a hack, theoretically this should be accomplishable in 24 to 36 hours. So as much as I want to max it out, we should be able to finish it within a certain amount of time. So we could make this the MVP. This is our MVP, minimum viable product. Where's my highlight? There's my highlight. So those 3 are MVP, and then time permitting, we'll add speech to text. Time permitting, we'll add recommendations AI in nearby search. How does that sound to people? Sounds good and awesome. Love to hear it. So that means I have lots of research to do by our next session. When's the next? So max out your hack with Google Cloud Part 2 is Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So by then I should be able to prepare Cloud SQL and cloud storage, most likely also Google Maps API, but just like to connect everything together. Um, and then part 3 is Friday, part 4 is Saturday. Okay. I think we're fairly ready. We've made our project plan. We know the 4 main things that they're going to do, our users are going to do. We know what products we're going to use. We're set. Awesome. See, so I was saying earlier that we won't be using all 2 hours of this session because I still have to wait on the credits, but for the maps, just for the maps. Um, the Cloud SQL storage. Oh wait. The Cloud SQL storage, speech to text are all available for free. Maps has a little restrictions, and AI has a little restrictions. If anything, we'll have the 25 credits. If anything. Awesome. I love to hear the enthusiasm. I hope you all are just as excited as I am. It's going to be a big project, but oh, we still have to deploy it. I said that part 4 would be deployment. We're changing artificial intelligence to backend. I'm going to say backend and then deployment because I would like for the final result of this track to be y'all have project portfolios or portfolioable projects. Awesome. Okay. So we're all set. I guess I'll see you next Wednesday with your account so that we can get started on our minimum viable product. All right. Thanks, friends. I'll stay for a little bit for questions, concerns, etc. until like 5. Yeah. If you have any questions about hacking and stuff, I'm here too. The meantime, also, yeah, of course, I'm excited. I'm gonna look into this one because the one out of all of them, speech to text might be easy enough to learn, but the recommendations AI might be challenging. Yeah, see? Okay. Yes, do your research for the project. I'll make it so that we know what to do by the time it's Wednesday, but it would probably also like make sense to start looking into how to use them. Like if you want to, because the way that I want to build my project might be different from how you want to build your project. You might want a specific functionality that only you will have. Cool. And of course, I am always the chill streamer. You will not expect like a full like table of contents from me. Um awesome. Let's see. What else do we have? For the map stuff. Oh, okay. Another one we'd be thinking about. What framework do we want to use? React, Next, React Native, iOS, Android. What do we want to do? How are we building this? I think it would probably be easy to use a web-based like framework just so we don't have to worry about um we don't have to worry about setup and the environment and like which OS you're using, etc. So React or Next. I think um everyone's already familiar enough with React. Like it's basic enough. And Next is on top of that, which does a lot of the work for you, but it might not work as well with the other stuff. We'll see. Um so far I'm leaning with just making a Next app because I know the pages would be like all of the routing and all of the server stuff would be taken care of. And with JS, you can like I can copy and paste the code that they have already here. Use the places, place search, nearby search. Then if I go here, it gives what it's calling, let's say JavaScript. See, I can copy and paste the code right from the documentation. So that is how comfortable Google Cloud's docs are. So pretty straightforward enough to use. Um, yeah. So we'll use nearby search and then what it returns will go to recommendation AI, but I can't open it yet without a billing. So that's definitely our wild card. Places library. Yeah. For the route, it probably would be I think this would be what I'd need for if someone suggests a route adventure. Like, go to something national park or hike over this waterfall or something like that. Like that, those count as adventures too. So I wanted to like those were what I envisioned. But it is easier to just say like, go to this restaurant. And we have a demo here that we can try out. The API reference is right here. So we'll know how exactly we're calling whatever. It even tells you like route travel mode. Okay. Lots and lots of research to do. I'll make sure anything that we use will also be on the slides. Yeah. Awesome. Once again, thank you for dropping by to start maxing out your hack with Google Cloud. Thank you, friends. Bye bye.